have a great siege line. Look at it on the map. You can see that there's a slight space between each of the tanks there when you look at the mini map, and that's showing some really nice maneuvering from Mind so far. And he's actually slowly working himself over so he can get in a position to attack on the 4th. Look at that, a quick lift on the command center there, and Mind's doing just a great job.
But here's the problem, though. Sharp has a lot of dropships actually working the top side of the map here. You can see on the mini map, 30 floating its way to the 12 o'clock. And Sharp knows that he actually has enough units to be able to take care of that Mind's push to the 6 o'clock base. So, well, here comes the drop. Coming to the 12 o'clock.
Oh, GG! Mind's going to have to tap out here. I mean, really, it comes down to the fact that he didn't have a 3rd or 4th gas for how long?
Very long time.
Yeah, that was insane.
You know, TBT is a very economic match. So you're looking at, what mineral count both players have, but it's also important to make sure that you have enough gases to keep your production up.
Absolutely.
And the thing though that, Sharp did a great job of selling Mind the fact he was going for heavy air.
My question is, at the 4th base, for Mind, the refinery was outside of range of the siege fire. So how come he didn't have the refinery at the 4th? Even though I know he lost one at the 3rd. I'm okay with that. That's in siege range. But the one at the 4th is where he should have made sure he had a refinery.
I think that comes down to just him being the heat of the moment. Just completely forgetting about it. We've seen actually a couple times before where players will just forget things like that. I remember actually a ZVT on Circuit Breaker where Killer against Mind, where Killer forgets Crackling upgrades for his speed link, and it takes him 10 minutes to lose because of that.
And then you have players like that can be absolutely brutal, where they're saying, every time I see a refinery start to be constructed, I'm just gonna rush a Vulture in and get it taken out, and then he's gonna forget to finish up his refinery again, or it's just gonna delay that gas even further. And then eventually you're just like, okay, I'll give this up for right now and just focus on mining for my minerals.
Looks like from the chat here that people know exactly which game I'm talking about regarding the Killer game. That was pretty funny.
I mean, that was a huge game and just a gigantic blunder from Killer. Unfortunately, that was like one of his last games before he ended up going into the military.
I know. Killer had that game won, but here's the important thing to know, like going back to this Mind versus Sharp series, is that the second game, you can see that Sharp was completely dictating the pace of how the game was going to play out. Yes, Mind did make some pretty good plays here and there, but it always felt like he was playing the catch-up game for the most part, which is kind of weird, especially when you see that Mind had the build order advantage, in my opinion.
Yeah, he had the build order advantage. He was even on tech, and I think it all came down to Mind just losing the Mind game. Building 3 and eventually 4 Valkyries in that game is just absolutely, mind-blowing.
It is.
And that's way too much use of the word mind.
I think what he was intending that because he lost that first, major engagement in the middle of the map due to Sharp going for the flank, and, actually having, like, 2 Valkyries out, Mind was thinking that Sharp was going to continue to commit to the air attack.
Mm-hmm.
But we can see that Sharp decided, okay, I showed the fact I have 2 Valkyries out and a couple of raids. I'm just going to transition back into the mech, leave that start port just in case I need it. So both players have one game right now. But I'm about to go into game number 3 on match point.
Yeah, we'll be match point. We're going to just do that quick commercial break first.
Do we actually have a commercial break button?
Oh man, hold on, XKCD. I just need to point out something. Blind Rar from chat points out Mind always loses on Fighting Spirit for TBT. So I went to TLPD, and Mind has a 2-11 win rate. 15.38% win rate on Fighting Spirit.
That's actually pretty surprising.
That's terrible.
What are you doing during practice? Because everyone practices on Fighting Spirit. Like, you go on a ladder, or you watch streams, everybody's on Fighting Spirit.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
I don't know. I wonder if that's a matchup where Mind is just like, it's Terran units, whatever. I can just wing it. And I'll just be really good at all the other matchups. But you can't really phone in TBT. I mean, it's a very, you know, strategic matchup. You've got to practice it.
Right. You know, letting Sharp have the 1 game advantage, that might mean that Sharp's going to get a little bit more confident, you know. There's always that, you know, sports psychology
Yeah.
going into play here. And of course, we have our lovely yellow Zerg commercial here.
So great news broke out while we were on our little break here between our last cast and this cast. Do you know what that is?
Oh.
The Team Liquid Legacy Starleague.
Oh, that is true.
The best of foreign StarCraft non-Koreans going at it head-to-head over the next couple months. It is going to be absolutely insane, guys. A nice big prize pool, $800 for the winner, and several hundred more split between the other remaining players.
That is true.
Yeah, so January 9th, that is going to start. And then there's going to be Sunday casts. And I believe that we do have Sale returning to casting Foreign Brood War. And I think that he may have finally got himself back in sorts. And everybody just hope that he is doing better in life. He ran into some roadblocks, as we all do at some points in our life.
Right. And of course, there's actually going to be a new caster as well. It's going to be Cat's Paw joining Sale.
Yeah, Cat's Paw has picked up the casting baton, basically, for foreign StarCraft. Because you were busy with school, I was busy with work and getting married, and Sale was busy with the life stuff he was taking care of. So we really needed someone to step up in here. Although I believe that you and I might be stepping in to cast every once in a while for Sunday casts.
That's always a possibility, of course.
Yeah, so I mean we're not necessarily a lock because, you know, obviously less than 12 hours later we'll be having the National Starleague cast ourselves.
Right.
But the Sunday time, it definitely makes me more available, which is why I'm happy about that.
That is true. But here's the also interesting point to know. You know, Hyrogama makes a good point that the Rain will be coming back. The first official match will be the KCM Legends match this Wednesday.
Oh, is he playing in the Legends match? Oh, snap. When is that playing?
Gonna be Wednesday morning, Bisu Dagger.
Oh my god. Okay. We gotta cast that. No doubt.
SNS.
Oh my god. That is awesome. What time is that getting played at?
I'm not really sure. I remember
Let me
last
make
time
sure it's reasonable.
It was actually, you know, pretty late. 8 a.m. Eastern.
Oh, I'll be at work. Dang it.
I'll be on vacation.
The best times to cast for me are at 4 or 5 in the morning, unfortunately.
That is true. That's why we are here, ladies and gentlemen.
That's right. So just to wrap up my little spiel, Fighting Spirit Medusa and Heartbreak Ridge are the maps to be played in the prelims of the TLS. So if you're a big fan of those, obviously I'm a big fan of Neo Medusa. I don't think my reasons need to even be stated. But it's a great Protoss map.
There's no Avalon, though. I don't know if I can support this.
Oh god, what's wrong with you? Look, Heartbreak Ridge is in there for Terran players to be eliminated. Okay?
No, not just Terran players. Every player is going to be eliminated.
Oh, man. You know, are we just going to continue to see Zergs dominate the foreign scene? That's kind of the big question there.
I believe so. It's actually kind of funny because a lot of the top Zergs are like from the CIS region.
Yeah.
And
they're pretty solid players. They basically got their like little guild together. And they're like, guys, we're just going to kick everybody's ass. Let's be cohorts in this madness. Yeah. But fortunately, we've got a pretty good spread for our racial balance in this tournament here.
That is true.
Can't be upset about that. 3 Protoss, 3 Terran, and 2 of the best Zergs possible in the world. You know, when Effort returned, I wasn't sure if he was going to be able to return to, like, his peak form. And we really only saw Effort's peak form before his first retirement in Brood War, when he left CJ Entist and then later returned.
Right.
I think a lot of the reason why he didn't return to his great form was because it was also near the transition of, hey, StarCraft 2 is coming out. We're going to be switching from, we're going to switch into this hybrid league. You need to start practicing StarCraft 2. And so that just kind of put a huge damper on Effort's ability to regain his once glory of winning an OSL.
So are you saying that Effort's not back, or I'm getting some different vibes coming out?
No, Effort is back. Effort is the way he was when he won his OSL. He is that level now. I'm saying when he returned to StarCraft 1 back in the Kespa era, when he unretired the first time. Remember, because there was all the drama about him, with his looks and him returning to school, so he decided to retire. But he came back to play on seaGuemchi before the switch to StarCraft 2, and he wasn't as good. Right now, he's back to where he was in his OSL days.
Right, and the thing note, he actually has the ZVP matchup against Guemchi, which will favor Effort heavily, given that ZVP is his best matchup by a long shot.
Right. So that's what I'm trying to say, for those of you concerned in the chat. I was not saying that he was bad right now. I think he is scary as hell. And the only other Zerg player that is on par with him is Zero, who has been consistently awesome throughout his entire career.
Of course, we're going to get into game number 3 here on Match Point, ladies and gentlemen. Both players up 1 game here. This is the round of 8, day number 2, with your casters made in SK City and Bisu Dagger. Looks like Sharp will spawn in the bottom left as the yellow Terran, and Mind in the top right as the red Terran.
Yep, and again, we should be seeing the barracks put out in a weird position here, especially on Match Point. This is where we started to see the initial, put the barracks out there to a closer spot, so that way it doesn't have a long distance to float. The main distances here are actually quite far, even for floating.
It is. The way the map is shaped out, even like sending an SUV out to scout is actually pretty far as well.
Yeah. There's a very excited girl in the stands. I would be too if I was there.
And I would love to be there.
Yeah, there is someone posting in the live report thread about how they were enjoying their experience in the studio from last week's tournament. And I got very jealous.
Because of Mike Morheim and the pizza, or?
No, not Mike Morheim and the pizza. That was Bisu versus Last. And obviously I'd be jealous just because they got to see Bisu play. But they were also just saying that it was just really fun experience. They put on a really good production. And there's actually a picture from the round of 8 day 1 thread of Bisu's mouse. And he's not like, I need the most ergonomic Razer mouse. It's, I just need the old school comfortable mouse. It's got 2 buttons, I'm good to go.
Interesting enough though, Mike's gonna go for the proxy back barracks, but Sharp is Sharp! Scout it now!
Whoa! Whoa! He's got to see it.
Okay.
He's got to see it.
You gotta see it. Beautiful.
The SCV was drunk, okay, but it got its job done, which means that drinking on the job is fine.
It was actually a big problem though. Mike could actually lose that SV before the barracks is completed. It's gonna give Sharp a complete advantage here. Mine's already pulling out 2 SVs. You're gonna need to complete this barracks as soon as possible. Oh my goodness, look at this. The SV is almost dead.
Yeah, this is some really fun play opening up here. Sharp playing aggressive as always.
The great thing about this is that like Sharp knows what Mine's up to, so you can play very relaxed, playing with basically full information for now. First Marine's gonna be out on the way here.
Yeah, in the meanwhile, we did see the supply depot and the barracks at the wall here. Gonna be really hard for anything to get through into that main base.
And of course, the question will be though, can Sharp get his Marine up over there in due time?
Yeah, I'm not sure that Mind will be able to get inside of the main base at all, which is Sharp's intention here. He wants to prevent scouting completely. The barracks is floating in on its way. There's nothing he can do about that. Once Mind's barracks makes it to the main base, Mind will be able to scout out pretty much everything, unless he made a couple Marines. But that's really not going to be the case. Sharp doesn't need to make a bunch of Marines here.
Yeah, meanwhile, we do see that because Mine didn't wall off himself either, Sharp is going to get full scouting information as well. He's going to know the timings of the factory. And of course, oh, look at this.
Oh, that Marine. It does run. It's all the way back. And just 4 health remaining on it. Does stay alive. Oh, it does get taken out. SCV and a Marine. This looks like reverse roles here from that first game on Circuit Breaker. Sharp having the advantage with the SCV and the Marine. He's going to try and fight these here. Oh, the hug wall of the SCVs will take out that final Marine here.
You know, 1 Marine for 1 Marine. SCV, that's a trade I would take any day.
Yeah, that's a real great trade. And now we do see that the Vulture is out. And it looks like the barracks is going to start its way floating across the map.
And of course, Mine already going for the expansion right off the bat.
You know, Mine does like getting that faster command center. You can get away with it.
You can, but he doesn't have a Marine though. Sharp already has a Marine and a Vulture at the bottom right. You can see there another Vulture going to be added to the fray here. So the extra DPS from the Marine should actually help Sharp win this.
Yeah, do you try and focus down that Marine first, micro back, and then go after the Vultures? Or do you just go straight after the Vultures first?
I'm not even sure.
Yeah, I wonder how the DPS compares out from a Marine compared to a Vulture. Oh, but here, look at this. A really good job of catching that 1 Vulture coming across the map. And now these 2 Vulture bikes are on the chase here against Sharps. But Mine, can he hold on? 2 Vultures and a Marine look like they're going to be making it inside of the main base here. Getting a nice SCV kill off on that constructing factory.
Oh, there's going to be a big problem for Mine here. Sharp can be able to mic all his Vultures against a lot of these SCVs, but of course, here comes the retaliation.
Oh, did you see what Mine tried to do? Was land the barracks in a way that he could keep the hole open so he could attack in here to the main base. Meanwhile, the harassment is still going on here. Sharp doing a great job. His control on that side of the map is doing well. Meanwhile, the tank at his main base should be able to clear off those Vultures. It's going to have some nice burst damage to keep this defense good.
Right, but here, man, you know, I think with this engagement, though, Sharp could be completely ahead as long as he doesn't lose that tank.
Yeah.
That can be a big problem.
Pretty mind-blowing that the engineering bay, even though it was like not even halfway constructed, just survived all those Vulture hits, because Vulture damage against buildings is just so terrible.
I like how you used mind blown as a pun.
Oh man, no, mind blown does not count as a pun, okay? I need something else to explain mind blown. Someone give me another phrase that I can use?
Fascinating.
I am brain exploded. That doesn't work for you?
Thing, though. Sharp has a huge economic advantage, though, knowing that he got so many SCV kills so early in this game. Mine tried to go for the counterattack. They only able to really slow down the command center at the natural. And what will Sharp do with this advantage he has? He's already pushing across the middle of the map here. I don't think Mine even has mines out yet. So he can't really slow down these tanks at all.
That's right, XKC. I am flabbergasted by all these nerd chills I'm getting right now.
Oh, you flabbergasted? Gonna be the word then?
I am just gaining from the chat all these brilliant little catchphrases. I'm totally gonna make nerd chills mine. Sorry, tasteless.
Ooh, I like mine doing though. You actually loaded barracks again to slow down the reinforcement of this push, but Mine still can't mine from his natural.
No, Oh, wow. That tank hit. Pretty big kill off here. And now the Vulture's still alive. Man, Mine is in such a position here. It's going to completely turn into like a crazy Vulture versus Vulture game.
It has to. Like that's basically Mine's best chance to get back into this.
Yeah.
So economically behind.
Yeah, he's got to just overproduce Vultures right now. Just go absolutely insane and use them as best as possible. It's going to come to really nice micro right now. You know, taking in some good advantages, finding himself in the right position. And not allowing any Vultures so Sharp to just skirt around his main army.
You know, this would be the best time for either player to get a dropship right now.
Yeah, I don't see a starport for either player. So they're going to have to work towards that tech if they even want to get the dropship.
That's the thing, though. Mine can't really afford a starport. Doesn't have enough the economy for it just yet. Sharp could actually if he wanted to. But I don't think he wants to slow down the Vulture production so far.
Yeah, the Vultures are going to keep coming in, and, you know, he can't even afford, like, one defensive tank because of the way that Sharp's been constantly poking himself in. He'd pick that tank off pretty quickly.
Right, and even if he did get the tank, I don't think he gets the siege upgrade yet. Well, man, that barracks by mine has been so annoying. It's like, once again lowered.
That is actually pretty hilarious. I do like that tactic. You know, and Day 9 actually goes on a pretty big spiel about, thinking whether walling off is actually a good strategy or not, because it becomes a hindrance later in the game for a Terran player if you do wall off. And so we're actually seeing here, this is where you need to consider, do I actually go for this wall off in the future?
It has been working out for Sharp so far in the long run, but we're seeing mine push out here into the middle of the map with those heavy group of Vultures. Will we see the big Vulture skirmish? You know, Sharp already looking to expand to that mineral-only third here. Yeah,
this is looking pretty awesome. So many Vultures on the field right now. About 2 to 3 control groups worth. Oh, and here comes the huge engagement. These tanks in the back can actually do some pretty big burst damage too. So as long as Sharp can kind of shield them away, he could have a nice advantage in these engagements.
You know, that's the thing though, like Sharp, if he can always force the engagement with those tanks. As long as he keeps slowly pushing. Sooner or later, Mine's going to have to deal with the fact that Sharp has the tank count advantage.
Yeah, what Mind will need to do is take a control group of Vultures and hide them maybe at the top, or try and make them go the long path to counterattack from the back. He needs to pull off a flank as best as possible here to be able to take on this army.
You know, that is true. But most importantly, though, he needs to isolate the tank somehow from the rest of the units. I mean, very difficult to pull off, though. Actually, though...
and a great job here! Exactly as you said, gonna isolate some of these tanks here. It does finally take that one out. And does he commit here? No, I think that Mine should pull his Vultures back. At least take the high ground first. And look at that. Every time he does retreat, he leaves a pile of mines before he does bring his Vultures away. Because he wants to continue to stall off those tanks.
You know, Mine has been a pretty good job so far with his map control, but more importantly with his Vulture usage. Like
what?
What?
Oh my! He dropped the barracks inside the main base and built a fire bat. This is absolutely hilarious.
Oh my goodness.
Sharp is playing his ass off right now. He is going nuts in this game.
What he should have done was actually float that barrack down in the top left of the main base. That way Mine couldn't see it, and then just mass up fire bats. It makes things even more cooler. Actually research stim, and then you have stim fire bats. But
yeah, you know, stim fire bats kill off stuff pretty quickly. But for that to be a one-trick pony, it's not going to be worth the investment.
No, of course not. We're seeing here Sharp going to reclaim his own high ground here by the third. We're still not seeing a third base yet from either player, though.
It's so funny, the mentality of professional players, where they're going to leave buildings just sitting in their base because they're like, well, this is a useless barracks. It's really not going to affect me. Why take the units and bring them over there to kill it off? You know, not worth my time. But as like a player like me, who isn't a pro player, if I see a building inside my base, I'm like, this is the most important thing. It must die now.
Right. You don't want to have fire bats in your main base.
No, you do not want fire bats in your base.
Oh. It's going to be the first big engagement of the game here at Bisu. We're seeing both players seizing up their tank, though.
I'm seeing the huge advantage to Sharp, though. He does have that high ground. He's going to have better vision. The Glyphs here buffering at the front, and Mind is looking very weak.
You know, that high ground advantage might have been too much for Mind to handle, though. You know, he did get his siege tanks up faster in time, but... Look at this. Sharp just completely decimated that trade-off.
He did, but the tanks for Sharp have the better angle. At that, with the high ground plus being able to fire to the top right, he will have the better vision and distance for his tanks compared to Mine's.
That is true. For those who don't know, there's actually a little bit of a glitch where if you have your tanks shooting in the top right of their position, they do have that range advantage.
Yeah, so that's going to favor Sharp, of course. And now, because he has that siege position, the third is not going to be a possibility for Mind. And Mind, how does he break that position? He's still playing the catch-up game economically. You know, he hasn't been mining flush from that natural base for that long. And look at this. Sharp, like in Fighting Spirit, is saying late game TVT or mid game TVT is dropship play. I'm going to start going crazy with these vultures.
Right, you know, but there's already a raid out by Mind to deflect his dropship, but, you know, losing a lot of SCVs there. Meanwhile, Mind doing a great job with delaying Sharp's third once again, sniping that off the SCV, building the command center over there. And
yeah, this is the only thing that Mind can do. As long as he can delay a new base for Sharp, he can really have a shot at this game. Even with his army disadvantage right now, he can overcome that if he delays the third.
And, you know, here comes the drop by Mind here. He's going to actually float past that tank. The tanks will not be able to see that drop.
That was absolutely perfect. The pixel perfect positioning he needed to skirt around that tank. No mines are in position to detect this. Oh, and it looks like he will collide with an SCV's vision right here, as he does with the dropship. Sharp should be on alert, or Vulture's going to start sending to the main. Or has he not noticed?
Sharp, where's your map vision?
He didn't notice. He missed it. Even though there's the SCV at the 6 o'clock position here, there's vultures inside the main, and they're getting a lot of kills very quickly here. Oh, look at this. The retreating tanks, and actually the vultures that want to come out to help the main base are stuck behind the tanks that are also retreating to the main.
Oh, that was a big blunder by Sharp, not being on top of his mini-map vision.
That's as perfect a drop as mine could have needed. And now he actually does get away scot-free with his vultures and that dropship all on full health. He pretty much forced all the SCVs that were remaining to that main base. And look at that, he's attacking on the natural too. Mine is just fighting fire with fire right now.
Right, that was a little bit of an overextension at the natural, but that dropship's still alive. And Mine, again, going for another run by at the third. Looks like Sharp's actually being out multitask here, surprisingly enough. The complete reversal of the Fighting Spirit game, but... And there it is. Mine will actually finally clear out the last tank, you know, slowing down that third base there. So here comes Sharp's units.
I think this extra Wraith transition is really good, and look at that. So many tanks are exposed right now. This is going to either force Sharp to retreat his tanks, or hope that he has enough Goliaths coming into range to deal with the Wraiths.
Alright, looks like we're going to see a little bit of skirmish here in the middle of the map, though. There's that one Goliath. Sharp needs to keep that alive as long as possible. That's going to be crucial defense for his ground units there.
Yeah, if he loses these two Goliaths, it's really just going to completely ruin his tank line here. And these vultures are getting so many kills. This is just disgusting play by Mine so far here. He's really doing a lot of damage to an army that looked really strong for Sharp.
But here's the problem, though. Mine was doing that entire engagement once again on the low ground. So even though, yes, Mine did get a couple tank killed and Goliath killed, it's still not helping the fact that Sharp has been having every engagement from the high ground here.
Yeah, and even though he does have a mining third right now, he doesn't have a mining third with a gas. So really what he gets out of this third base is just additional vultures.
It looks like there was actually another drop by Sharp here, making it all the way into the main base.
Wow, this is getting absolutely hectic. Even their main bases are not safe on this map. Match point allowing you to harass just constantly in this TVT matchup.
And of course, if we've already seen Sharp take the initiative, already expanding to the 6 o'clock base as well.
Yeah, he had that SCV camped down there since that vulture drop from Mind. And it was really one of those things where it was going to be a big tell to Mind that there was going to be expansion there eventually. But Sharp's decided it's so important that he does get that base.
Right, it looks like we're seeing a lot of skirmishes come up. Both players trading their units. You know, one Goliath versus a couple raids here.
Oh!
Ooh.
GG! I mean, I'm surprised and not surprised at the same time by that GGG. I guess I'm more just caught off guard that it happened when it did.
Yeah, I was caught off there. I was like, we didn't know that Mine was losing, like, you know, every single major engagement. You're already behind on the economy, right? You
right.
Did have the rate count to work with, but look, I think what happened was he actually scanned the 6 o'clock base and saw that Sharp already expanded there, and, you know, already saturated the mineral line. That's when he decided he was just too far behind.
Yeah, there was no way for Mind to push out and pressure that 6 o'clock base. On top of it, think about how many minutes that Sharp had that natural refinery mining versus how far Mine's natural refinery was delayed. That is just like, you know, thousands in terms of the gas count. And just absolutely huge advantage there. That's why he had such a huge tank line, upgrade advantage, and mine just couldn't overcome that.
But most importantly, though, just like you said, like the engagement. I don't think we've seen mine win a single engagement yet that entire game.
No, the best thing that happened was that drop, but that was it. And since Sharp was basically matching him with, you know, the same level of drop power, it's not like Mind was able to get himself, you know, in more of an even position. So a pretty solid game on match point for Sharp. He definitely had to fight hard, and you can see that he was sweating pretty heavily.
And I always find it funny that like pro gamers will be sweating in the booth. It always happened in Protoss. Like, remember, if you look at some of the old Calm games, you'd be see like a lot of sweats like drenching him, or a couple of players as well. But here's the thing, though, we're gonna go into Gladiator. It's gonna be a very air unit favored map, and Sharp does have the 1-game advantage.
Yeah, this is nuts. So a lot of people out there maybe put mine to advance on their brackets. Gonna be a huge bracket upset. I'm pretty sure that you put Sharp as your semifinals Terran player, didn't you?
You know, I have Sharp making it all the way to the finals.
Really?
I do.
You have Sharp beating Bisu.
Yes, I do.
Well, you know, Sharp advance. We'll see how this turns out. But I don't know that Sharp has the TVP power to defeat Bisu.
It doesn't matter if he does or doesn't. The thing to note is that a lot of people are being already upset by the fact that mine is not winning so far.
Yeah, but let's see. A 41% win rate. 41% win rate. I just don't think he can overcome it. I mean, looking at his losses, he has losses to Shuttle. And Snow. In fact, he's never won a game against Snow. Okay, so I just feel like, okay, those are 2014 stats. He's improved a lot in 2015. We'll see.
I think what's happening is you're underestimating the power of coaching.
Yeah. You know, he gets a Ferrari for every round he advances.
That's a good deal.
That is a pretty good deal.
I mean, here's the thing, though. We're going to go on Gladiator. It's going to be, pretty... What's going to happen is going to naturally gravitate towards the air game here, but we've seen so far, though, like, Sharp has been simply way more effective with dropships. But that's going to be a big problem for mine. Mine's going to have to figure out how to handle it.
That's right. And maybe just having good Wraith positioning, getting a faster starport to deal with that, or just good ground defense. Detecting it, putting buildings in good spots so he could detect it, and being able to pull vultures back to deal with the drops.
Of course, though. For those of you who are just seeing the stream right now, this National Starleague is sponsored by Advance, so make sure to check out their products. Get some good old products for your face and your skin.
Yeah, and including this game here, this mobile game for Heroes of Incredible Tales is quite an epic phone game, so you guys should try and find that and put it on your phone.
Right. It looks like we're having a Advance commercial here right now.
Yes. All the sponsors here, guys. Yeah, hashtag kids, why not? Hashtag cute. Oh, I like this one.
Even the kids use it.
That's right. Guys, your kids need to look good.
That is true. You know, in this day and age, with everyone being on social media, everyone being online, you know, have all the paparazzi and whatnot.
Yeah.
You know, and all the creepers and stalkers. If you're gonna have your kids be creeped on, make sure at least they look good.
Who was the famous girl who did the like child modeling or whatever, the child fashion shows? Honey Boo Boo.
Oh no.
I'm pretty sure Honey Boo Boo needs like major Vant makeover. That girl was pretty hideous. And I'm sorry, I don't want to call little girls ugly, but she was hideous and annoying. And I only watched that show temporarily. Like 2 seconds.
Only 2 seconds? You're missing out on the fun part of that show, man.
Oh, was it actually amusing?
I don't know, but I mean, if it's popular enough that they make a lot of money out of it, there must be an audience for it.
Yeah, but that's saying like watching the Kardashians or Jersey Shore. There must be something to it, and I was missing out on those.
It's reality shows, man. There's nothing need to be to it.
Yeah. I did watch this movie called The Whites of West Virginia, and it's like a family with the last name White, and it is just like the most what the hell is this show ever. I mean, it's really messed up. None of these people leave. The entire family's on drugs. The people who aren't alive were all killed in some form or fashion.
Wow.
Someone bringing up Walter White.
No, that's a different show.
You know, I was watching. If you've watched Breaking Bad and you know the guy who owned the chicken chain, the Pollo chain, the black dude, he was in Scorched Trials, the sequel to Maze Runner. And I just watched that.
Maze Runner? You actually seen that?
Maze Runner is good. I haven't read the books, so I'm not like a book snob for it. But I thought Maze Runner like was a pretty solid movie. And Scorched Trials, while there wasn't like a lot of story to it, the action in the movie was actually pretty insane too.
That's the thing though, like ever since I've seen John Wick, like I feel like all the other action movies, like action sequences have been terrible. So I have like a hard time really appreciating the action that happens.
In which movie?
John Wick? Like ever since I've seen John Wick.
Oh, John Wick, yeah.
Like that's like actually the best action movie I've in the history of action. Like if you're looking for like I don't know, like something to work off in terms of like the action and the cinematography.
Yeah.
Work with John Wick.
It wasn't too terrible of a movie in my opinion.
No, it was a great movie. I don't know. What do you mean it wasn't too terrible? That was fantastic.
Yeah, the action was pretty fun. It was still like the storyline was like interesting enough to like support all the action in the movie. Guys, there is no new WoW expansion. That's actually a StarCraft 2 mod that you were watching there.
Or you know they can always just be stealing assets from Blizzard.
Oh man, I would like one of those comfortable chairs. So I have a story about my chair that I sit in while I cast. So I went and got this metal chair that doesn't really have like a strong back support. It's kind of bendable in the back, but I got it for like $5 used. And it used to be like a perfect right angle. I would sit even with my computer. But, you know, several months later, and now I'm at like a 45 degree leaning back. My chair is just completely wrecked, and I had to get rid of it.
You know, I actually would like to use one of the office chairs we have at work, but then I looked up the prices online. They're $900 a piece.
Yeah. I hate that chairs are so expensive.
They are, but it's like, it really does pay off, though, in the long run.
Yeah. $5 for a chair. I guess it makes sense that mine would be ruined.
Like in terms of chairs, you really do pay for what you get. But of course, here we are back in the studio. Here it's going to be game number 4 on Gladiator, the new map.
Yeah, for those of you guys who aren't familiar, Gladiator was played in 2010, 2011. A lot of the OSL games is where it really came from here. It's a 4-player map, and for TVT, it seems to be just it plays into air a lot, you know, air positioning. But if you do go on the ground, the entire like middle is just like the middle of the map beyond the natural is like a giant spoke, a wheel with like all the spokes going around it. And all the spokes have high ground. And so there's a lot of different siege positionings that you can catch yourself in, which could be good or bad. So you've got to watch your positioning. The same way that we saw mine just get crushed at his third base because he was on the low ground side of that high-low ground ratio. You know, he could be caught here too. He's got to be very careful to not fall into that trap on Gladiator the same way he did.
Of course, we're getting lives in the game here. It's going to be cross spawns. Oh my goodness. Once again, we're going to have cross spawns. You know, Sharp is already 2 for 0 in terms of cross spawns here. Will he be able to make it 3 and 0? So in the bottom right, as the green Terran, we're going to have Sharp. And of course, in the top left, as the white Terran, we're going to have Mind, who's going to need to win this game to bring it to game number 5.
Yeah, you know, cross spawn is going to be really good for the players who want to go into a later game. If it was a close spawn, it's actually really close between the naturals. Let's just say that they were both on the bottom horizontal spawn. Like, the Vulture Wars would be absolutely insane because the travel distance would be so easily covered with Speed Vultures.
Now, it's kind of funny how you say that the close spawns are close, which is kind of a given already.
Well, the horizontal spawns, you know what is what I'm saying.
Right. Interesting enough, though, we're not going to see any proxy barracks just yet from either players here. Though Mind, though, doesn't have a supply depot just yet. Is he going to go for... Interesting.
Yeah, he's going for the barracks first. And you know, I feel like the reason why we're seeing a barracks first here is because you can do it in StarCraft 1. And it's despite the Blizzard developers of StarCraft 2. To balance the game out, no longer can you build your barracks first.
That really is a bummer.
Yeah. Come on. I want to be able to build my buildings whenever I want. Alright, but we are seeing that it's going to be a really fast factory because of the gas being mined right away.
Yeah, I'm wondering if is this like a build by Mind trying to go for into double starport right off the bat, or if you're trying to pull off maybe like a proxy or something. Okay, there has to be a reason why you're gonna go for
well there you go, there's the proxy. Man.
Wow, would you look at that? We got some prophecy going on here.
Yep.
Factory in the middle of the base here, map here, but most important though, that's actually a super early factory, knowing that Mind went for the barracks before the supply depot.
Yeah, this is a big tell of Mind who's saying, God, you know, I had a lot of trouble with him in the mid game. Things aren't working out for me. I won the scrappy first game. I'm gonna make this fourth game scrappy as hell too.
You know, it's gonna be very important though. Sharp needs to scout this out as soon as possible because of the fact that the main bases are actually on the low ground. But we do have inverted ramps here.
Yeah, but the Marines! Are they going to let the SCV through? This is going to be a huge tell if he can't kill off it. I think that he should have tried to camp a little bit better at the ramp. Oh my god, that SCV, 6 health left. The Marine, it's got to catch it. Okay. So
he has to know there's a proxy now. He has to know. He saw the gas mining for a very long time. He saw that already 3 Marines out. So the barracks have been out for a very long time. But where's the factory? That was Sharp has to be keeping in the back of his mind here.
Yeah. I mean, he could be thinking that the factory was still in the main base. Well, I mean, the Vulture's out now, so there's no guesswork anymore anyway. So no speculating. I love the fact that Mind already has an SCV out to repair the Vulture, because that's going to be absolutely huge, that he has maximum health possible. Okay, with 2 Marines in here, XKCD, can Mind do it? Looks like he wants to take this game early. And in fact, a high ground Vulture that he can retreat to help keep him alive. And it's going to make it really hard for any units to escape and kill off these Marines. This is very, very clever play from Mind so far. He knows exactly what to do on Gladiator.
He does, you know. Sharp does have the a good response to going for the double factory, but can he make it happen?
Okay, the Vulture's in here. The initial shots are going off. He is going to kill off those SCVs. In fact, that one Vulture getting really low on health. If Sharp was a little bit better on his micro, he might have been able to take off that one Vulture. But now, because the SCV is in range, he will be able to repair it.
Oh boy, here's the problem though. There's already the machine shop on the factory, so we're going to start to see tanks here. If Mind can reinforce it with, you know, going for the starport right now, getting the Wraith and the tank, I'm not sure if Sharp can break it.
Yeah, this is just a pretty good contain so far. But we are seeing that the vultures were repaired for Sharp. Also, one of the vultures does go down. The vulture advantage going to Sharp right now. So far, the SCV repaired at the same time. And just the optimal tank pop out right there is going to allow Sharp to take the ground.
That was actually a big blunder by Mind, though, because a part of his high ground hold is the fact that he has those vultures to buffer for him.
Oh, but the vultures die, XKCD. They went for the Red Rover run, and they could not get past that bunker. Even though they did take off one Marine, still the Marines inside that bunker were just way too strong. A tank reinforced now. Siege about to finish up, and that high ground vision is just going to be so strong.
Oh man, how is Sharp going to break this? He needs to break it as soon as possible. He cannot let Mine fortify this too much.
This is turning out to be just the most exciting series. Definitely could be worthy of a final with the way these contenders are playing right now.
Of course, and this is a great decision by Sharp here. Going to go for the siege on the low ground. Going to get that bunker down, but meanwhile, Mine is rebuilding that bunker. Most importantly, he actually lost that barrack, so he has no vision.
Yes, but he does pull his Marines away just in time. But look at this. The SCV is trying to run in here. The tank is gone. The vulture is going to die off too. The advantage back into Sharp again. This play is just spectacular here. He's going to have to run away with the Marines. He's going to lose that bunker. And now the Wraith is out. This was anticipated. There's already a Goliath. The armory is completed for Sharp. So everything that Sharp needed is good to go.
Oh, you know, that was a huge blunder by Mine because he actually was engaging with the Marines outside of his bunker, so the SCV was able to kill off one or two there. You know, if having that Marines inside the bunker would have made a huge difference, actually. And look at this. Sharp's actually going to break out.
Yeah.
And to make matters even worse, though, once he actually moves his way across the map here, Mine couldn't lift that factory. He's not going to have anything back at home.
This is looking really bad for Mind right now. He's just going to have to go into strict recovery mode, and he's going to have a really long distance to move that factory. In fact, if the Goliaths are fast enough, there's no way that factory makes it home, and the factory would die off. So how is Mind going to combat this when Sharp's composition is looking so strong?
You know, and Sharp knows it. I think what Sharp did is actually break in right now. There's only 2 tanks out there and 2 raids, but looks like Sharp is going to circumvent that position completely and just move back home.
Yeah, and Mine is going to have to keep that factory there to continue to be able to reinforce his defense here. Is he going to be able to get himself in the right position?
Oh, here comes the siege up by Mine. That's actually going to be, that siege going to be completely out of position.
Oh, but the tank, it is going to get some shots off, but no, it doesn't take out the Goliaths. The Goliaths are still alive. Just going to be such a huge hindrance for Mine. He can't engage once again, does lose that tank. I think that Mind may have lost this game. Can you believe it, XKCD?
I can't believe it. I actually just seriously can't believe it. Mine is nothing back home, and
GG! GG! Can you believe it? Sharp advances 3-1. Wow, what did we just see here?
The upset, ladies and gentlemen, the upset. Sharp beating Mind.
Wow, look how happy that guy is. You cannot be smiling any harder just staring at that guy. He's already got tears. He has made it to the round of 4. This is his first major round of 4 appearance of any tournament.
Oh my goodness, I can't believe it. I'm like getting some crazy nerd chills over here, BT Dagger.
Oh, absolutely. I don't care who we're stealing that phrase from. I am definitely getting goosebumps all the way up my arm. Maybe that it's 40 degrees out too, but whoa. That was a crazy series played out by Sharp.
I can't believe it that Sharp was able to break that contain.
Yeah.
You know, going for that second factory was really the crucial decision to make right there.
I guess Sharp overcame the blunt force action of Mind.
You can't blunt the Sharp, BT Dagger.
You can't blunt the Sharp. That's the bottom line.
Oh, man.
Wow.
You know, Mind's going to be thinking about that for a very, very long time. Like, he knew he had the game advantage, and he just somewhat threw it away, really.
He's got one matchup to work on. One matchup. You know, if he can fix his TVT, then he'll be in a really good position for the next tournament that's going to come up. But we have our first 2 players in the matchup for the semifinals. Can you believe it? It's going to be Bisu versus Sharp. The winner of one of those 2 players is going to get into the finals. And I think those are like the two most exciting players that can be in the finals here.
I know it's gonna be. I can't wait to cast that round of 4 matchup next week. Actually,
Yeah, that's going to be awesome. January 14th, just 10 days from now, next Thursday, not next Thursday, but the following, it will be Bisu versus Sharp. Good God.
oh man, it's been a crazy day of action so far here, but unfortunately, mine will have to head home.
Yeah, and I return to my first day of work of the new year. It's going to be an exciting day. I'm just totally amped up after that series. What a great best of 5.
Oh man.
A lot of people were upset with the best of 5 format. I can't explain why. To me, it is the best thing possible.
Oh well.
Oh well. That's right, XKCD. So this Thursday coming up, we're going to see Zero versus Free. And it's going to be another best of 5 starting on January 7th. And then following that Tuesday, it will be the final quarterfinals match, Guemchi versus Effort. So if you want to see a ZVP, which we have not seen yet, Zero versus Free is going to start that up in just a couple days.
Oh man. Make sure to tune in, guys. At the same time here on Thursday, and we have 2 ZVPs to finish up the round of 8.
That's right. That's right. So Zero versus Free, we'll discuss that a lot more in the next matchup, but it's definitely going to be one that's going to be hard to tell. Zero obviously going to be coming in as the favorite and Free as the underdog, just with the historic matchup differences. So guys, get ready for that one. XKCD, any other words for the audience?
You can't blunt the Sharp.
You can't blunt the Sharp. Guys, welcome to 2016 Brood War. We love you guys so much and are happy that you can continue to listen to us. Sharp, this lovable guy here, is just a awesome dude to watch, and continue to support him for sure. So come out when he plays again. Well, that's going to wrap it up for day 2. You can find us on Twitter. I am at BC Dagger.
And I am MMA from XK City.
Thank you guys again, and we hope you guys have a great rest of the day.
Yep, see you guys on Thursday.